Today is Monday, August 18th. This is the Weaver County Commissioners Public Works Session. I'm Commissioner Sharon Bolos. I'm here with Commissioner H4 and Commissioner Jim Harvey. Item 1 on our agenda is discussion or action for approval of the minutes for the Commission Work Session held on August 11th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Item 2. Discussion regarding paramedics, Lisa Gosline, Stephanie Ebert, Jason Horn, Mike Slater's on his way, Britt Clark, Brian Barron, Chris Crockett, Jessica Clark here. Did I miss anybody? Okay, as you all know, several months ago, the commissioners decided to move emergency management from the sheriff's office to the commission office, where I believe it's been in the past. It's been in the past. Anyway. Had some discussions on where that belonged and decided to make that move. The plan was to continue to keep paramedics with Eli, because that was kind of his, I don't want to say baby, it was his expertise. And he's now at the sheriff's office. I'm sure everyone knows that. In the meantime, Chief Clark called me and said, can we have a meeting and talk about where the paramedics live, and where that program lives, and should it be under emergency management? And why don't you just give a quick recap on that conversation?
Yeah, I just called with the change with Eli and with Lisa coming over to the county. I just was hoping to have more of a, I guess, presence for the chiefs in the county on how it's run and decisions being made. And so I recommended a committee with all the chiefs in the county to be advisory, to help come up with budgets, and of course work with Lisa, understanding that all that still resides with the county, but just an opportunity to give the chiefs more, I guess, say in the direction and what happens with it, and ideas and oversight and quality and all that. So in our last meeting, we kind of talked about moving ahead with it. I talked with all the chiefs, and we had a meeting at our Weber County Chiefs meeting with all the fire chiefs, and they are all on board. They like it. They want to move forward with the committee.
So I knew that was our next step, was to involve all of them. I didn't want to make any decisions. We didn't want to make any decisions and make that change without the buy-in of the other chiefs. So I appreciate you bringing that up and getting there.
So there's one chief that didn't respond to anything, just plain city. We've given them communication, but we just haven't heard anything back. But all the other chiefs have given their go ahead. They want to see it happen. So
Lisa, what do you have, Dad?
I would just say that I'm very excited about doing this committee. I think the engagement with all the chiefs, particularly having oversight over the 3 committees, which would be paramedic and hazmat and urban search and rescue, heavy rescue, is a great way to go. It allows all of us to get on the same page. There's a lot of expenditures that happen, not just with the equipment budget that the county provides, but also with the Homeland Security. And so having all of these engaged the way it is, and having those subcommittees report to the committee, I think is a brilliant idea for allowing us to have transparency and complete engagement by all the chiefs, not just those where some of those programs might affect them or might not. So I'm in favor of this. I think it's a great way to make sure that everybody's engaged, and that as we move forward, that all eyes are on it, and that we have the ability to work together and coordinate.
Commissioner Harvey, this is your portfolio.
Well, I like the idea of having a broad communication with all the chiefs and coming together. I think from I'll be very, I like what was happening under the direction of Chief Matthew and how things had gone there very well. I think there was good communication there, and I'd like to see it at that level, at least moving forward, and certainly not less, but if there can be a better way, that'd be great. I think as we do move forward, I still want our emergency management team involved, especially with the budget. This is just my suggestion, Madam Chair, but I think it would be a good idea that the chiefs were to come up with Morning, Mike, Chief,
Mike?
good morning.
Apologies.
Wow. But I'd like them to have a principal with Britta, this is to you and to you, chief. A spokesman that would work with our emergency management team. And come up with ideas and requests. And then those be presented in a budget form to us as a commission. I don't think we need to have all the chiefs come in here. I think it'd be a waste of time and if you're already meeting, which it sounds like you are, you put that together, then you can all put those requests together. But I certainly want the director, well, which is Lisa, involved in that possibility. I know things that you were working a lot with the other position that was working for emergency services for Weber County, which was occupied by Eli. But Eli's taken that position is basically a communicator at the sheriff's office, has nothing to do with what those responsibilities are. So I want to make sure in the future that that's a clear line, especially when you have a tenured guy doing that, but that responsibility falls right there in that department. Now, if Lisa chooses to delegate that to Jess or someone else, so be it. But that's where that'll go. And then I think as long as you guys have one person that communicate there, and then you're on the same team or singing out of the same hymn book as it comes to coming to budget. You know, because those things will obviously be happening in the future. But this doesn't necessarily, with all due respect, I'm just gonna be bold. This doesn't just mean that I don't, excuse me, that to say that you're the guy or Chief Slater, you're the guy, Mike, you guys will work that out. But our relationship has been with the chief of Ogden City in the past. It's worked out very well. It's not to say things can change or be improved there or not, but I don't want there to be any drama. That's the one thing for sure. There doesn't need to be drama in this whole thing, and there certainly will be some opinions, but I would hope that if you choose to do some kind of a committee like that, that message is communicated effectively to everybody. And if there's little drama things coming up anywhere, that needs to be squashed and taken care of like right away. Cause the last time I checked, you guys don't have an overabundance of labor, which means that you're always struggling and this, that, and the other. And that means you don't have time for that. I just don't like that kind of stuff. If we have things that we need to fix, this is the big thing, then we need to discuss them and bring them up and have them here. But I don't want there to be, not that there are now, but normally when you have a change that we've had now, you know, and yours is still kind of fresh, although but it's not 10 years old. Yours is fresh. This whole situation is fresh. Whenever you have changes like this, things need to settle a little bit, but that's the most important thing for me. Those would be my suggestions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Anything else to add?
Oh, just real brief. So you have an opportunity, it appears to me, with this committee for some collaboration between the chiefs. And I would hope that, you know, committees work great when you come out and there's a consensus because of collaboration. Not that you're all gonna agree, but I guess what I would kind of, in a very short sum up what Commissioner Harvey just said, whatever actions or decisions come out of that committee, it's a consensus so that we don't get backfire that from particular chiefs say that's, you know, we're heading a different direction. That's not why I would recommend you do that. But if you can come out with a consensus, you come out with one spokesman, even though not every chief's gonna get his way. The last thing I'd want to see is that 2 or 3 chiefs come to us on the side and say, those guys are up for the night. So make sure your committee works, make sure you come out consensus. And then speak very clearly when you come for budget sessions that you're speaking for that group. And that's gonna require a great deal of work and leadership on your part, because if not, it's gonna be pretty easy to get fragmented. So that's my only concern going forward. Is that, we're doing this because you've got leadership, you've got collaboration. We don't want to deal with 10 chiefs in the room with 10 different opinions. That's not why we're doing this, so.
I can speak to your point too, Commissioner. It's been fantastic because Britt and I have known each other for quite a long time.
Yeah.
He's even his deputies. And I think what's something that's very unique in Weber County is we all get along.
Yeah.
And even when we don't, we have those discussions. Britt and I have not always agreed on things. And we've had those open and honest discussions. At the end of the day, we come up to a consensus and walk out of the room as one voice. So that's happening in Weber County. Chief Maxwell from Northview, a new fire chief. I've been friends with Chris for a long time, and that's one reason that we've had that relationship is because we're open and honest with each other. So I think the foundation for that to happen is there. And I think with how we meet on a monthly basis as county chiefs, that foundation is there. And I think with a couple good people kind of spearheading this, we'll make sure that those open and honest conversations happen. And so we talk to people, not about people. And so it'll be a good thing.
That's great. I mean, that's all I'm asking for from my perspective is, you're never gonna have 100% support any one issue. But you can all agree to come out of that room, out of that meeting with a consensus and not have somebody go, out the back door on you. I mean, I've worked a lot with committees. That's just the way it is. You may win today, you may lose tomorrow, but at the end of the day, you've got to stay together. And the minute you start splitting ways, and having power struggles, that's when it falls apart. So I think you guys get that.
And this is one of the reasons why I talked to Commissioner Bolos on this, because it's an opportunity to get together as a committee. And like you said, not everyone agrees.
No.
And people may not agree. But at the end of the day, it should come out that as a consensus, we're gonna work together and move forward. And committees that work, that's the way they work. Committees that fail, then they don't work that way. But I have a high confidence that we can make this thing work.
Yeah.
Like Chief Slater said, we've got a lot of history working together. There is a lot of new chiefs in the county, but they're not new necessarily to the county and not new in those roles. And so most of us have worked together for years. And I have a lot of confidence that we can not only make it work, but we can make the programs better.
Yeah. Well, I've got faith in your leadership. Go get it done.
I think the opportunity that we have here from going from one person to several people who all have skin in this game, I think is a great opportunity to make the program better and flourish more, I think. Because the paramedic program affects every agency. So I think it'll be a good thing to have all the voices in the room. Commissioner Harvey, do you have anything?
One last thing, as we prepare for, and it's not too long away now, it's weeks away. As we prepare for this year's budget, and again, just as a reminder, we're on a calendar year, not a fiscal year like all the cities. I have had questions, and you're gonna be coming, I know that you're gonna be coming with some equipment requests, but I have questions and I would like an audit done on heavy rescue. I know that we've talked about heavy rescue, a lot of things have changed as it's related to that, Riverdale's involvement and us accepting of the equipment and this, that, and the other, but quite frankly, they say, well, semi is gonna roll over onto I just want an audit. I'd like to know how often that's done. I can tell you, and I think I may have talked to, maybe not, but one of the things that happens in Weber County, I would say a lot more frequent than a semi rolling over on top of a car, is somebody who is killed at Causey. Every time, including this last time, we have to get equipment from somewhere else. A couple of years ago, they had to bring equipment out of San Diego and recovered not just the person they were looking for, but someone else had been down there for 2 or 3 years on the way down to get that deep. I don't want to put in peril the search and rescue guys because they can only go so far. The last operation, which was done just a few weeks ago, they brought that. It was a military person who had passed away, and they brought some equipment in from the federal government. It's a box about the size of a milk crate to get that person brought out or exhumed really from Causey. And so if we're gonna be spending money on equipment, it makes sense to me that as long as people continue to make those kinds of decisions at Causey, that's we need to be able to take care of our people here and not be beholden, or maybe we do. But at least I'm trying to think how can we fund something that to me is important. That happens a lot, and our equipment's going all over the place to help others. So that's just something, Madam Chair, that I think would be good to focus on, and I hope is a matter of discussion during our budget session this year.
I think that's a good idea, Commissioner Harvey, and some of the equipment that we have purchased, the Aqua Eye was something we were testing out that helped find that body on Weed River, a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking, essentially it's a fish finder for people. I think we talked as county chiefs before, and so Britt can inject himself in this conversation. We gotta make sure we're really focused on response, emergency response, because we want to rescue people. And the fire service historically has been a rescue program. When it starts bleeding into the recovery issue, that's when we kind of step away from it, and we can help with it with whatever we can do. We send Task Force 1 members all across the country from Ogden. They went to the flooding in New Mexico. They went back to Tennessee for the hurricane, and sometimes there are recovery issues. But my personal opinion is if we're going to focus money through the county, we focus on saving lives before the recovery issue happen.
Great.
Yeah, so I think those discussions that we'll have.
I like that.
Okay, Brian, I'm going to you next. How do we create this committee? Does it need to be? What needs
So
to happen?
I've drafted up a resolution and I forwarded it to the group and they're looking it over. Resolution would create the committee and kind of give them some foundational operational guidelines, establish a chair, a vice chair, a rotational schedule, and assign some various powers and responsibilities to the committee, including ability to create subcommittees. I know they wanted a couple subcommittees to oversee the different areas of speciality. So that resolution is being circulated right now. We'll get that back, make changes and then present it to you in
Great.
an upcoming meeting.
Great. Sounds good. Any questions or?
No, I
Other
appreciate Britt he came to me with this idea a little while ago, and I thought it was a great idea. And so I think as long as we have open and honest conversations to all three of your points, then this thing will be successful. So I appreciate the work you guys have put into it, Brian, as well. And I think we can make this thing work.
Good. Stephanie, anything from you?
Not yet.
Okay, Jason, anything from you?
No, I mean, I'm for it. I agree with Harvey and a couple other people that have spoken as far as like drama and things like that. I definitely don't want that. It was running pretty well before Eli left. And I think we can make it run just as well, if not better. What I don't like is I don't like getting blindsided by things that should have been taken care of early on, and then that just kind of turns into something that it really shouldn't be. So once you guys have had a chance to go over and actually establish the committee and the subcommittees and whatever else, I think it'd be a good idea for all of us to get together for a few minutes and look at the flow, look at the responsibilities from the county side of things. Because it's a little bit different, right? There are things that Steph will process and do that I won't. Lisa will kind of be overseeing all of it, and I'd like to make sure that you're getting the right information to the right people and that they're responding back to you in a decent amount of time. So, but outside of that, I like it. I've worked with these guys for a few years now, and it's been great. Maxfield's great. I mean, there's a lot of really good people in the county, and I enjoy working with them. So I can't imagine this is going to fail. It should be a good thing.
I agree. All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
They got a hard fit, so we're a little short staffed.
Thanks, Joe.
Good.
Good to see you, Brett.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
I got thanks for seeing you. So, but I haven't seen this guy for a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta. We'll chat soon.
Websites,
Yeah.
schedules, any purchases. Any
So do you
purchases.
get up in the morning and Go out there and yell.
I do, it's more piggy, piggy, piggy. But, boy, these pigs are a lot different than the ones I had last year. They are, they've got the same sleeping spot. But- So I bought some glasses. They don't like it. They don't like it. Oh, and
Yeah.
I got a
Maybe showing up.
big container of corn up there for my friend Kenny. Portland. He can care less about that.
Really?
But the cows like it, so.
Okay.
You didn't,
Thank you.
you didn't get an extra 50 pounds on those heifers, just so you know. Yeah. And that little Oreo, she goes through corn like no tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not an eater, but she'll throw out a healthy calf.
So does Kenny McFarland sell hay too?
I don't know if he sells it. He puts a bunch up in the monastery.
Oh, yeah.
I think, well, he puts up Harrison's. He puts up a lot. I don't know if he sells any or not. You need hay? Well, talk to Chad.
Oh, he doesn't have enough.
That's good.
He called, told me last week, I said, I don't think I'm gonna have enough this year. You got a lot more cows.
Probably always a good idea. Okay, Chris, you're listed first. Does that mean this is your item?
Commissioners, thank
Well,
you.
he's the heavy.
You what?
He's the heavy for the,
This is the grant agreement that I emailed you about last week. And Commissioner Bolos, you asked for a quick 15-minute work session to go over what we came up with and the changes. And I don't know if you have this with you, but this has the updated budget that Bryce sent me. And I used the number from the first year as the reference number. And then we can take a look at that, Commissioner. Right? And then also,
This opioid or?
is a letter
Yeah.
submitted by Brian
Okay.
Cowan under penalty of perjury.
Oh, great.
We had concerns about whether funds were gonna be used to supplant existing funds.
Yeah,
And this is saying that it will not, I believe there is just a small administrative fee, which is common in all grants.
Yes,
So
well, no perjurious action.
no.
I reviewed that with Scott Park now,
What's his letter?
Oh,
before Scott Park left, and he was fine with that. And then the language, and here's the, remind me to get this one back, so I don't have to. Mention it in the copy, but what I did under scope of project was just limit it to. I put the county shall allocate to contractor a portion of settlement funds to cover necessary expenses related to activities specifically described in the application. County has agreed to fund the project for 1 year. The county may renew the agreement for up to 2 additional years. Renewal shall be in the sole discretion of the county and is contingent upon contractor adhering to the reporting requirements listed below. And then as far as the reporting requirements, we had that the contractor shall submit semi-annual reports and adhere to all conditions and obligations as are required by the county, which includes statutory requirements. And then basically the county reserves any time to receive progress reports upon request. So those were the changes that I had listed that the commissioners wanted to see. Is there anything else that you would like addressed or questions that we can answer before you decide whether to move it forward or not?
Any questions?
so my main concern here was reporting, so. I guess I just need to read through, or just give me a brief rundown.
So it's on page 3, subsection 4, says semi-annual reports.
Okay,
And then also that the county can ask at any time for an update and progress reports.
okay, so 1 year contract,
Yes,
not automatic renewal,
correct.
subject to approval by the commission. Okay. And then what's our dollar amount?
So I put in there, and we need, Bryce, if you could just confirm we have the correct one, 178,122 and.
So the first on the bottom there, Commissioner for.
Okay,
Those are additional.
got it. Okay. All right, it appears that makes, meets my requirements, so.
Any questions?
No.
I do have one question, and Leno, I'm sorry we started without you.
That's okay.
You weren't on my list, so I.
I know, I got forwarded after the fact.
Anyway, they were here, so we just got going 5
Yeah,
minutes
that's
early,
fine.
but maybe this is a question for you and the committee on the reporting. I wanna make sure that as we start to release these funds to other
Mhm.
applicants, the health department included. That we make sure we stay on schedule with their reporting requirements, so I don't know the best way to do that.
Well, we kind of got like our ARPA ones, we send out a quarterly report, we'll just do either 6 months or whatever. As a committee, we discussed, is a year too? Is that too, like, is 6 months too short of a time to actually see results? So, we're willing to do whatever you guys want to see, but is 6 months too short to really be able to report on what you've accomplished? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not even that concerned about seeing the results, but I think we wanna see a 6-month report.
Okay.
And that's the way it's listed in the contract, so my question is more about how we make sure those stay on our schedule. As commissioners, how we make sure that, because they're all gonna be released at different times, I'm assuming, this one will go out.
No, I think they'll probably all be on the same. We'll probably,
Will we wait
this
on
one
this
will be
one?
a little bit different, I guess. This one will be.
So that we just know when they're coming up on our calendar.
We do this with P-TAB. Where we require a yearly, a
6
yearly
months.
report in July, where they have to submit a report to the commission prior to their budget session. So that the commissioners have all that information so they can make a decision of whether they want to allocate funds next year or not. We could put the report in July. And then the one at the beginning of the year.
We actually need to have them done like in April or May at the very, because
Okay.
we do reports, opioid reports that are due the end of May and the end of June.
Okay, let's do
So we
that.
need those numbers off from those reports for that.
Will you and the committee be in charge of getting on our schedule?
Yep.
That's, I
will
guess,
be-
the bottom line, is I don't want to be
Okay, yes.
responsible for
That
that,
works, 'cause
especially if
like
they're
right
gonna-
now, I
Yeah,
have
who's
them
gonna
on
look at the
that.
report?
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll send it
yeah,
out.
that's-
We usually send it out a month before it's due and tell them we want it back by this date. And then,
Great.
we would just expect them to come back. I anticipated that they would all be on the same schedule. You know, we just do them all. That's
Yeah.
kind of how we do the ARPA ones. You guys, you know, where
So
you're
these would
getting a
just
little
be a
bit
little
before.
ahead.
Mhm.
Okay,
And we do have in there specifically that the contractor will adhere to all statutory reporting requirements which are attached as an exhibit to the agreement.
okay.
Yeah,
I wanna make sure that as these funds start to go out, that the commissioners aren't, 9 months down the road wondering, weren't we supposed to hear about that?
no.
Well, I feel like we need to be proactive in this too, especially where we're doing this on a yearly contract and we're going to have to be asking for that contract to be renewed. So I feel like it's in our best interest to make sure
Sure.
that we're on top of reporting to you and have you comfortable with the activities that we're doing.
Okay,
So do
One,
you-
one question, Mike. So as far as that reporting, I like reports, but I like outcomes based reports even better.
Yeah.
So it's great to say, hey, this is what we did. We went to X number of conferences, I sent 20 people and blah, blah, blah. What I wanna know is what actually came about, what outcomes, can we get back to the,
Mhm.
the state or whoever, to say, here's what we did, here we put the money. We decreased in certain areas opioid use or cures or whatever it may be, whatever path you go down by X%, X number of people. I don't know if that's what you got in mind, but
Well, I
just
just
a report saying here where I'm not looking for some report that says, here's where we spent the money.
Mhm.
I'm looking for a report that says, here, we made a difference.
yeah, well, we'll make sure we report on the measurables.
Yeah.
Perhaps the time that could be done is when you do your formal presentation for your budget request. And have that as a specific line item, and then you can answer the commissioner's questions during that time.
that'd be great,
Good
that'd be great.
suggestion. Yeah.
And if the first one, 6 months in, doesn't show, measurables, doesn't, at least an update on what you expect in the next 6 months, I think would be appropriate. Because every 6 months, especially at the beginning, is gonna be tough to come up with,
Measurables, sure, right, as we're starting this up. I agree.
And every recipient, it's a little bit different. Like I look at the forensic, what's his name? I keep forgetting his
Dr.
name.
Daniel.
Yeah. So he actually submits how many people
Yeah.
that he has seen or helped, and he's able to do that, where these guys may not have the same
Yeah.
ability to, quantify exactly how many people,
Well, and we can provide, I've already got it out, not in this form, but kind of a work plan. This is what we expect to see in Q1, Q2, 3, and 4. So we can have some of those pieces. We've got the longitudinal data that we're expecting to impact, and I think that's easy.
Great.
I think that's in alignment with what we do normally.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm sure. Okay, great, sounds good, anything else?
I like it.
Chris, anything? Okay, all right, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Lindell.
So I'll put this on it'll be a week from tomorrow. Okay. For the commission agenda.
Thank you.
Yep. Gage, do we have the block meeting today?
3:45.
Okay, just didn't know if that was gonna happen since we're seeing them on Thursday as well.
Well, yeah, I think this is gonna be kind of a synopsis of what we expect to have. Michaela was here last week.
Yep. Where would you like them? I guess is the only question.
Wherever you think it'd be best, I don't care.
Okay, you don't care. They didn't tell you a specific way, okay?
Okay, we're on item 4, discussion
Wherever,
regarding
you know,
provision.
framed, whatever you think.
Provision of Municipal Services, Chris Crockett, Lauren Thomas, Sean Wilkinson, Bill Ross. Chris, you're listed first. Wow, oh boy.
But, yeah, look out. Look out.
Look at that.
Throw throw the book at him.
I hope the owl caught that on the video. Oh, yeah.
Small size the law. Okay, commissioners, there's nothing really actually pressing as of today, but we just want to put a bug in your ear regarding some things that are gonna be upcoming. So with the election, the municipality, the incorporation of the Ogden Valley, the primary has occurred. And we are now gonna be heading into the general election. There is a timeline that we need to be mindful of. That is found in Utah Code 10-2A-217.
Old 217.
Old 217, that it's such a tricky code. We were actually under the impression, well, I was, that there wasn't a set day for the municipality to incorporate. And we were using the example of Marriott Slaterville City, which didn't incorporate until actually July after the vote. But here in this code, it actually says the mayor of the future municipality shall, within 30 days after the day of the canvass. Sorry, I have my glasses.
30 days after the
The can-
canvas.
Isn't the canvas a couple weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Shall
Wow,
file with the lieutenant governor a copy of a notice of impending boundary action. And a copy of an approved final local entity plat. Now, I believe the lieutenant governor's office has 10 days to issue a certificate of incorporation. So that actually means we're going to have a city very soon. After the beginning of the year, and it could happen even sooner than within those 30 days. It's just whenever they fulfill that requirement. So, after the canvass, the new municipal officers are going to be bestowed certain powers. They can negotiate and make personnel contracts, service contracts, contracts to purchase equipment and supplies. They can start a budget, they can appoint a planning commission. So we're likely going to see requests coming from these officers to the county to continue providing those municipal services. And we actually have an obligation under the law, unless we otherwise agree with these officers, to continue providing the same municipal services as you did before. And so we're trying to think, and this has yet to be decided, but how do we prepare for a transition? For when these groups come and ask us for all different types of services. You've got building, engineering, HR, you've got planning, zoning, treasury services, pretty much anything the county provides. Are they going to be able to provide that right from the get-go? And so they will have the ability to contract not only with the county, but also with other surrounding municipalities. And there might be services the county is just fine continuing to provide. You know, the county can negotiate an appropriate fee and they want to, or there might be services that we don't want to continue to provide. Perhaps we want them to go to another entity. That's up to the commissioners and the new officers to negotiate and come up with a solution. But we're worried a little bit about what that's going to do to staff if the county does decide to continue providing services. In that, with that 30-day time window, would you like us to start preparing interlocal agreements in anticipation of that? One of the thoughts that we had is maybe we prepare a skeleton interlocal agreement that you can fill in the blanks later with different fees, and you can add the services that you want and take off not include the services that you don't want. But we're just trying to stay ahead of it to get as much work out of it as we can upfront, rather than having to deal with it. Right?
that's a smart thing to do. So review again, it will happen within 30 days?
It's
Or
supposed,
Can,
so
because did Marriott
30 days
Slaterville
after.
delay that on their own?
you what?
Did Marriott Slaterville delay that on their own?
No, this was a prior code. This was
Okay.
back in the early 2000s. This particular code, I believe it was passed in 2015 or yes, 2019.
So they have to.
2019.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that is true. If they don't, there's not a penalty. It says the mayor shall, but what's the resolution? File it.
Mm,
They still have the ability to delay it till July 1 under the state code, right?
Not
Well,
the way
it's
we read,
changed,
not the
but-
way we read it. I mean, I don't think there's a penalty.
But there
I
doesn't
think
have a
the enforcement
penalty.
would
Yeah.
be, just go ahead and submit your documents even though you're late.
Right. But you're sounding like we've got to deal with this now. We don't have any officers until after the November election.
No, there's nothing to solve right now. We just wanted to know if you wanted us to start preparing some documents that you could use that would aid in negotiations in case they do, people do come and ask you for services. We're
Well-
thinking just like a blanket template interlocal agreement that you can fill in the blank if you choose to. Why we have the time now, we just want to know
Yeah.
if there's anything you want us to work on.
I don't have any problem with that, but right now, I'm hearing rumors that they're gonna do volunteers for snow removal. There's, the attitude they're taking with the county is, at least from some of the people that look like they're gonna be elected, is that we're gonna do it on our own. That,
Yeah.
and my opinion is, look, I've already directed all of my portfolio to start looking, we did this, start looking at the numbers, so. Joe, if they come to you, I wanna be prepared with numbers, so. I want to make sure that our directors have direct input before we do interlocal. I don't want it going through you. We've gotta have the numbers from our people.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go before them. It would
Yeah.
be to provide to them a document that they can fill in because they're gonna have to get you
Yeah,
prices.
and that's fine, but they're the ones that need to come up with their budgets because they know, okay, what do they have for staff? What do they have to provide for services? And we're not gonna do this for free, Chris.
No, it's certainly not. That's not what I'm advocating. It's more of if you anticipate the county providing any of those services. It would be nice if we could start
Yeah.
working with the departments now to get
Working
you
on
that
it.
information.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if those requests come at a time they say, look, we can't pay you those fees. We're gonna do volunteers because that's their attitude right now.
Well, I think just having it in
But-
place is
but-
what we're after.
but if we have it
That's
in
a good
place.
idea, so that it's ready to go, but I also, this probably isn't necessarily part of this discussion, but we might have to anticipate having nothing in place because they intend to use volunteers, and then shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
You have to have people in place.
We're not even gonna circulate this to them. This
Yeah.
is just for you to have in
Sure.
your back pocket.
I'm talking more about like the staffing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if we're told within the 30 days, when they incorporate whatever, we're gonna do this on our own, we're gonna have volunteers do these things or do, you know what I mean? And then we staff accordingly. And then 3 months down the road, they say, you know what, we
That's-
can't do this on our own. That could impact, it wouldn't have anything to do with the draft that you're talking about with the interlocal and the fee schedule and any of that, but it would surely impact your department and
Yeah.
others.
So I've directed engineering, building inspection and roads to put together the costs that you're talking about.
Mhm.
So within the next 2 weeks, we will have those numbers back that we could plug into an agreement if
Yeah.
we needed to. Planning is a different story and we should probably have another conversation about that. I mean, is it okay if I go into that right now or should I not?
Oh, yeah, I think it's perfectly appropriate to let them know what happened.
Okay, so we've received feedback that maybe they don't want to use our planners, at least from some people. Some are saying we should, some are saying we shouldn't.
Mhm.
Our planners would prefer not to work with the new city. So we've had enough from the planning commission in the Ogden Valley. It's not a healthy relationship. It's just not. And I would prefer to keep my staff at its current level and let them do their own
Mhm.
planning.
That makes sense.
I think that's their attitude, definitely on planning, and I think that they have other options for engineering, they have well, I've told them to look for Morgan for, if they don't like our sheriff, to
Law enforcement.
look for law enforcement, which that's gonna be, to me, two big deals.
Mhm.
You're gonna have roads, you're gonna have law enforcement.
Yeah.
Those are the two big deals. We can, planning, they've already said, we don't want your planning. And they're gonna contract the least possible amount of services with us.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just handwriting. So I don't wanna get out ahead of this and have them think that we're eager to provide services,
Oh,
because we're not.
we're certainly not gonna let them know that.
Yeah.
No, it's really just if you want us to use our time to help you, more than happy to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I think we might as well be prepared, and if it is just a skeleton document that we can plug numbers into for different services we want to, or they would like us to provide.
And who knows with the election, I mean, there's one's on one side of the spectrum, and
Right.
one's on the other
Yeah.
side of the spectrum with the
Yeah.
types of personalities that you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
But there's really, I think, going to be, I'm looking to see things on a coming to Jesus moment, I think, when they realize just how many services they're going to have to
That's-
provide.
That's where I have a little bit of
And so I think the
trepidations, you know.
tension, I think they're going to, on that side, tone it down quite a bit. And I think it's headed that way with the lawsuit. In that the judge was indicating, we haven't seen this in the order yet, but was strongly indicating that the county retains all of its legislative and administrative powers. Up until the incorporation. Yeah, and so.
I got a question. Let's just say that they do what the law says. Because they've been challenging what the law says for a while, but let's just say there's a change. And they do what the law says, as that goes. How are they gonna pay for it?
So the only thing that you're required to do is once they incorporate, share pro rata the taxes. And Laura and I are still gonna be going over the statute of the process of how they do that. But from the moment they incorporate, you share pro rata, but all the way before that, it's completely discretionary to the county.
We don't collect those taxes until. Those taxes, those shared pro rata taxes, so to speak.
Yeah.
Those are not collected until October, November,
So
December.
They
So how are they gonna go a year of operation without any money?
they can issue tax anticipation notes, probably bond,
bond.
things like that.
So what's a proration date? The date of incorporation?
Correct. No, it would be, yeah, the date the lieutenant governor issues the certificate of incorporation, so we don't know exactly when that was.
So we don't know the proration date, but yeah, and that makes sense. But I agree with Chair Bowles. They're gonna come out, using depending on what side wins. But either way, you've got a council that's already determined to come out that's gonna be anti-county. But it'll be a period of time, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 months, when they realize, hey, they just don't have a clue of the services that are required. And I think at that point in time, the citizens will say, you guys have got to get your act together, which then they'll come back to us at some point.
So
What that point is, I don't know.
what would you like us to tell people who do reach out, like, for example, Kay Hoagland, Ron Gleason are reaching out to our departments, the assessor's office, trying to get an idea of what services we all provide. I mean, we do talk to them, but we don't represent anything, a position of the county. We try to shield you all from them. Do you want us to
Thank you.
continue doing that?
I think letting them know the services we provide is what we owe them. Right now, just letting them know what we provide, each office, if they reach out to an office and wanna know what we
These
provide.
are just the services. that
These are the
county
services
provides.
the county
These are the regular
provides.
Municipal services that we've always provided.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then even the departments that don't get those phone calls, I would say, start to work on a schedule. Of what it would cost for your guys to do that, for those people to do that, and then it'll just be plug and play, I guess. When their officers are determined, they'll let us know.
We've been doing interlocal agreements with like Merritt, Slaterville, and some of the other cities on small scale, so Joe has some of those prorated costs, but that's mostly hasn't covered. Like our maintenance costs on our equipment,
Yeah.
and it's been an equipment rate and a labor rate and things like that, but
I said, you need to work in, especially for the Upper Valley, they'll be on a whole different rate because of the abuse of the
Yeah, the
the
equipment.
winters and equipment locations, so
Yep.
he's working on that right now and.
We were always told by the auditor that it was this rate times about 10 up there, and the top of Powder Mountain was this rate times 100. That's what Scott Park had always told us.
And that's part of, Commissioner Farrar asked us to kind of look at different levels of service too,
Yeah.
of what we
Yeah.
provide. And so we're hoping if they do come with us, they opt more of like where we give them a time and material plus markup kind of a thing, just to cover all our costs, which is
Yeah.
a safe way. Cause then they have a light year, they pay less, a bigger year, they pay more. And they can pick and choose. They want to call people out at certain hours, it's another rate.
Mhm.
So that would hopefully work out the best, but Joe's gonna put some packages together, we'll go over them and work with the attorney's office and so.
There's nothing to say, if you do choose to provide services, that you can't increase that to provide for like administrative overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
There's gotta be a benefit, I would think, for us to provide those services. There's no obligation whatsoever.
And that's what Joe's thing is like, snow watch, things like that, are they gonna do that and call? So there's a lot of questions that once
Yeah.
those people are elected in, that we'll have to have a sit down to kind of fine tune some of what this might look like. But
That's gonna be the interesting part, when we
Yeah.
give them a level of service that they wanna pay. But then all of a sudden, they start getting phone calls because we just had the 2 foot snow, and they're starting to get calls, and then they call Joe and say, why aren't you up here plowing? That's what's gonna happen.
you're right.
That'll be an interesting.
Well, and they, quite frankly, we do expect those roads to be cleared up to the parks. We have North Fork Park that is used for the public, and Weber Memorial Park is used, and of course, that's not for the winter, we don't use Memorial, but the amenities that are there, those are expected to be maintained. And then we have to decide too, once this happens, if they want to plow the pass,
Divide.
the North Ogden Divide, because quite frankly, that, I don't know how many people use that from this side to,
That might be something to be worked out between the new city and North Ogden.
Yeah.
Really, those are the residents who use it.
Unfortunately, they left the road to us.
Yes, about halfway up, it's ours.
yeah,
When
so.
we close it, we used to close it back when I was a kid.
Oh,
I mean.
I don't know, I
On
mean,
the I'm just wondering, because on a county level, if it's not impacting our residents. And there's another way to get up and down.
Commissioner Chair Bolos, I don't see the few people that live up at Powder Mountain. I don't see that, that's really our residents there, and going up towards Causey. I don't see us making the decision to open the divide. We've got 270-something thousand people versus 200 people. I think it's a
I just
be
think,
cost
yeah,
effective.
it would be,
but-
subsidized. It would be subsidized.
And if there's a desire to keep it open, you could certainly negotiate as far as your provision of other services, that they provide
That's
services to the county.
how I see it.
Like they plow the park roads,
Yeah.
while we provide these other services. Yeah.
Well, their answer to that just came out this last weekend, is they plan on installing, at least if certain persons elected up there, toll booths on most of their roads.
It's against the law.
Well,
It's
they don't understand that yet.
It's gonna be
They think-
such a learning curve.
Yeah.
Like, I really do anticipate the tensions to maybe be high at first, but there's gonna be a reality check very, very quick.
Yeah, when they find out, they were planning on thinking about putting a toll road at the top of the dam. So anybody going into New Ogden Valley City.
On a state road.
On a state road, yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure that.
I think you're going down the right path. I think we want to have things in place and
I think you
ready.
get a skeletal thing
Get on your side and then on your side and any of the other offices who
It's just
reached
gonna-
out to you, Chris, just let them know what we provide. And then add that to, the back of our minds as something we might need to provide or want to provide.
It's just gonna pass it to you and you bring it out when you feel and if it's necessary.
Yeah,
There'll be some negotiations.
I'm pretty good friends with the only toll road
Yeah,
owner there, and I can tell you, wow, there's gonna be a lot of
It's right
stories.
before Harvey Land.
well, they may be heading the right direction. I paid $4 the other night.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Two up, two back.
in about an hour.
Didn't get a thank you card
One
for
of the
that
things
either.
that I'm sure will certainly come up once the election's final is, there was preliminary talks years ago about whether since their taxes paid for some of our equipment and also the road shops and things like that, that they have access to those things or things like that. So those are things that you probably need to make sure you have the
Yes.
quick answer to on those.
It's county.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing, there's
so,
I can see the equitable argument, but that's not the legal argument.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
but that's gonna come up and that's gonna be a big push, cause.
Well, the road shop, I've already heard from Todd. That that's non-negotiable. We use that for
We use
North
that
Fork.
for North Fork.
We use that for Memorial
And Powder Mountain.
and Pattern, I mean,
And I have bring up that if they wanna lease and we wanna, the Summers property that we lease right behind the road shop is coming close to being of its contract. If that might be something that they would lease from the county and do their own thing there, 'cause it'd be close if we are involved enough to where even if they did do some kind of like, how do we provide them salt and
Mhm.
or let them store some of that down there where they can get to it. It would be, we could probably work something out down the road with that, but we'd have to
Well,
look at those leases agreements.
What I envision happening is this rhetoric of this, we want separation, we want distance is going to flip and that you are going to start receiving pressure of why aren't you providing these
Mhm.
services?
Mhm.
So it's gonna do a 180.
Well, and it's
very
just,
true.
that's why if we have these agreements in place. I wanna be able, I do want to be able to help that city, but I can't do it. I can't say those words and subsidize them. That wouldn't be
Yeah, we
fair.
can't do that.
To the detriment of Western Weaver.
Yeah, to the
Right,
western,
for sure.
western,
I think that's what we need to establish. We need to know what the rates are so that Western Weaver isn't subsidizing the Upper Valley. And work on I think you're going down the right road.
One thing we ought to probably do is have somebody weigh in on their feasibility study. Because I know Park didn't agree with it, there was things that were off with
It's
it.
based on a lot of growth.
Yeah.
It's based on a lot of
I think it was
growth.
an 8% growth,
9%.
9%, sorry. What have we grown? 2.8 to 3.1, so if they're based on a 9%, huh,
A lot of development.
Yeah.
well, there's a.
Okay, I think we're on the right.
Oh, Eden
track.
Crossing's gonna bringing in quite a bit of.
Oh, that case is this week.
Good.
Oh, is the Sham case coming up?
So we'll let you know how it goes.
Great.
Anything else from you guys?
So.
You got a lot coming.
We do.
You know, it's wonderful. I'm actually looking forward to what we're gonna learn out of this. Cause there's a lot to learn, but I for one, wanna follow the law. Quite simple.
Okay,
And for people.
Thanks,
to
you guys.
understand it, thank you. If that doesn't. Yeah. Thank you.
okay, commissioners, our next item is a closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property. Looking for a motion.
Motion to move into closed session.
Me too, a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're in a closed session. I think Chris has got to get a recorder. let's,
I don't know what they wanna talk about.
let's, have a motion to leave the closed session and return to our public meeting.
So move.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Look, just
Coming
in
in.
time.
right there, 2:45. Wow.
Just in.
been a
time.
while.
I found you just in.
Are you
time.
expecting others?
Gary should be here.
Okay,
Well, so should Santa Claus, but we're.
Gary will be here. He's
Hey.
scooting though.
Christmas,
He's
It's on its
scooting
way.
down.
Christmas is on its way.
That stinking Halloween, everybody gets those.
Oh, yeah, Halloween.
Did I tell you I took his little scooter for a ride on the second? road?
You did?
No.
It's amazing. That thing is so fast. Gary's home, I'll be right back.
What's he going for, Harv?
What
What'd Chad tell you?
3x3x8, you're gonna, he said I could find it for 60.
6, well,
That's pretty good, but most of them around here are 80,
I
85.
didn't say, I heard about 85, but
Why, do you have any?
I might.
Well, how many you got?
Well, I've got a field, I've gotta decide if I'm gonna cut or not.
Well,
Yeah.
cut it. I'll pay you. What do you charge me?
How we doing?
Good, how's it going, Gary?
Good.
You wanna cut it? I'll
Good.
buy it.
Will you?
How many, can you help me with delivery?
I bet Colby could. I'd probably have Colby or Kenny. Well, I've asked Kenny to look at it
Okay,
as soon as he gets back to me. I just gotta make a decision whether I wanna cut it or not, because I got told last year I cut too late, and then it hurt my first crop. But
oh. No, I'm gonna need some through the winter. I was thinking about 60. I need about 60.
I'll
But
never,
I'll take whatever you got.
I'll never get 60 bales off of it. This,
You might get 30.
I could get 25 or 30.
I'll take them if you want to.
Okay.
Let me
Okay, do
know.
Do you mind if I pull up Gizmo for this discussion,
Yeah.
just to make it easier?
you want the keyboard or no?
You got a change order today?
We're not getting that
That's his
crazy.
middle name. All right, item 6. Discussion regarding sewer pioneering agreement, Chad Meyerhofer, Sean Wilkinson, I don't see Cortland here, Gary Myers, Stephanie Russell, we do have Mr. Crockett, so,
Portland is at a medical appointment.
okay, thanks for being here.
No problem.
Bear with me, commissioners.
Want
Almost,
me to start with Chad? He's
yeah.
listed first, that means it's his item.
Oh, we're done then. We're done then.
Well, thanks, we're back to schedule.
So we were approached by a developer that's installing a sewer line down 1800. In fact, they've already actually installed it. It's in, and now there's 2 lots across the street that are wanting to connect to it, and he wants to now do a pioneering agreement. So this is for Winston Park Phase 2, so it's the second phase. They're gonna kind of see in there, so they extended the sewer essentially from right there
Sky.
to right here. And so in doing a pioneering agreement, I mean, really anybody that's gonna tie into that would just be essentially these 2 lots that are now being created across the street. So I guess if they were to eventually extend that line too, you could possibly have a few more individuals, but the sewer stubbed out. There's a little roadway right there, and I believe a roadway. Yeah, oh, a roadway there and a roadway there,
Yeah.
the sewer, well, stubbed out that can reach out to this property and probably some of this property.
Say that again, which
So
property?
you've got a sewer stub through all of this subdivision right here, commissioners. This is called Stagecoach subdivision. Right now, it's being developed by kind of a conglomerate between MacArthur Homes and they've sold some homes to Nielsen and some other builders. But they've run sewer infrastructure all the way through their subdivision and stubbed it through this road right here. And
One.
There's one
right
above it.
there.
Just above it.
Is it above it? Yeah,
Right
right
there.
here, right here, excuse me, right there. So they've stubbed it through their subdivision to the east boundary. Keep in mind, commissioners, when Winston Park first happened, this whole area that I highlighted in blue was actually their open space. It was going to be kind of a park / open space kind of a thing, and then when the general plan was finished and finalized and adopted, that gave them the option to do a rezone and to get some density out of that. And so that's
that's why the original pioneering agreement that was reached with them only went to the manhole right here in the center of the road. This extension, like Chad said, was literally only to serve their additional homes and dwellings they're going to add into it. But then as they started through the process, the individuals across the road, their last name is East. They own the home right here, and then the parents have some kids that want to develop this, and the East expressed interest in tying into that sewer as our ordinance would require. And we asked them to work with the developer that had installed that, where it was just the 2 or 3 kids that would benefit from that. The challenge with a pioneering agreement is they generally run for about 10 years. And where it would only benefit just this one little bit of frontage for the property to the north, there wasn't a lot of benefit or reason for us to want to instigate one nor want to track one for 10 years, if that makes any sense. And so it was a very focused area that would see potential for benefit or connection to that sewer line. So as these developers have approached us and asked for a pioneering agreement and to get some cost share there, I'll be honest with you, commissioners, I'm really struggling as to wanting to get behind that because it adds a little bit more extra housekeeping and work for us in my department. And it was primarily for his benefit, for his bonus density that he was awarded with the rezone that he got here. So obviously we'd look to you for your final decision, but if you ask for a recommendation from myself and Chad and my department, our recommendation would be probably not to do the pioneering agreement.
I think there's one thing too to kind of note in here. This was all brought about because they've delivered the Traco out there to make the connection to the sewer for those 2 lots, so.
Oh,
I'm not so sure that, to be honest with you, we can't even get a pioneering agreement done and
Yeah.
applicable by the time it would be for them to
Valid point.
connect.
so they're already hooking it up as we speak.
We're meeting with them out there today to deal with some of the storm drain, but he's gonna start work on the storm drain and that probably this week.
And is the sewer line in?
So no, it's the manhole's out in the road, but they've got to stub the sewer underneath the storm drain before they do it.
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
Hopefully we've explained this to you well enough and given you a good picture for what's going on. I'm sure it makes perfect sense in mine and Chad's head because we've been living it day to day, week to week. Do you guys have any questions for us on this that you might still be fuzzy to you?
It seems a little late to me, so I would like to follow your recommendation, commissioners.
I fully agree to follow Gary's recommendation there. They've already got the advantage of the lots out of the bonus density, and so they're flush with cream.
Commissioner Farrar?
I can't top that one.
Perhaps?
Absolutely. The line ran in to support their
Yeah,
additional density.
it did.
They paid for that additional density. I see no reason to burden the county, so I accept your recommendation.
Okay,
Okay, there you go.
I think that was easy. So yeah, makes sense to us. We appreciate you guys sitting down with us for a few minutes on this, so.
All right. Thank
Sorry we were specifically on time. I wasn't expecting you guys to be so prompt.
Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves.
You guys did awesome
today-
today.
Very efficient
And
operation.
today,
Nailing it.
we're done, so I'm ready for a motion. to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carried
Wow,
or
look at
adjourned.
that.
Would you end the meeting, Gary?